What's going on, guys? Welcome into episode number 43 of the Ask Tony Show. I haven't been this excited for a show in a while. My guest today is absolutely phenomenal. As you guys know, I look for ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and I came across Al Rindlisbacher. He is my guest today, and I came across one of his posts on social media, and he's going to talk a little bit more about that, but he has had one heck of a physical transformation. It is absolutely mind-boggling, guys. Honestly, I have never personally spoken to someone who has had such an amazing transformation in such a short period of time. So in our prep call, we talked about a lot of different things, and he has so much to say. And I know that the value everyone is going to get is just tremendous. So everybody, I want to introduce Al Rindlisbacher. Al, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Yeah, 100%. I've been thinking about this show all week long, and it's just been on my phone. Friday, 10:30, we're gonna be there. And so, Al, talk to us a little bit about, just kind of to give the audience some context. You posted on social media about your transformation, and that's where I found you, and that's kind of what started the connection to bring you on the show. So, talk to us a little bit about that. What did you share, and what are you currently doing?
Well, I started to share my journey about my health changes and the weight loss, and it was a little scary to throw myself out onto social media on Facebook because, well, you're kind of embarrassed of what road you went down, and but I also noticed that doing so kind of held me accountable, and put myself out there, and what I wanted to achieve, and because this isn't just, I'm not just trying to drop some pounds and and get a pat on the back. I want this to change my life forever,
Sure.
and that's where I was headed, and that's why I started posting things on
Yeah,
there.
and I saw that, and it was amazing. So since, and guys, check this out. So since March of 2020, so you started right before the pandemic just wiped us all out, and you have lost 136 pounds. 136 pounds, guys, since March of 2020. So in 10 months, 136 pounds. That is remarkable, absolutely extraordinary. So
Well,
the first
and Tony, as of today, I'm down 143.
oh no, 143, guys. This is insane. 143 pounds in 10 months, in 11 months. That is awesome. So that's what I want to get into, because I know so many people that they don't have to lose hundreds of pounds. If they could lose 30, they'd be super happy, but they can't do it. And so that's what I want to get into. So first of all, one of the things that I loved in our prep call is you talking about why you started, kind of what that drive was, what the initial motivation was. So talk to us a little bit about that. Where were you in your life, physically, mentally, health-wise, let's say February 2020, right before you decided to make the change?
Well, I've struggled for years. What really ended up hurting me is about 5, 6 years ago, I had a herniated disc in my back, and that just completely made me immobile. And I mean, I could do things, but not much. And since that time, it's like the weight just piled on. Unfortunately, I got myself up to over 500 pounds. And, that's, I don't like talking about that, but that's the reality of things. Um, I had uncontrolled diabetes. I was on insulin, um, obviously. I, I had high blood pressure, sleep apnea, and from my back, I'd walk out to my car and I'd be winded and I'd be in pain. I'd sit in the car driving somewhere and be in pain. You know, I'd go to places like for my job, and I'm going out and visiting my clients, and I would be looking for hopefully the closest place to park and how fast I could get in to a building and sit down and talk to them because I couldn't stand very long.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
that's where I was at. And I'd go to the doctors, and obviously they're going to tell me you got to lose weight, you know. And I had one of my doctors with my back problems. I'd go see back doctors, and they go, "You have more problems than your back. You got to get the weight down."
Yeah.
And one doctor told me you need to become a vegetarian. Another one told me maybe you shouldn't eat for a year. You
Oh
know,
my God.
those are the things I heard. And how do you deal with that? I would walk out just feeling like,
Just
well, how am I going
broken.
to change? What am I
Of
going to
course.
do? Hated
It's hard.
myself. Even though I have a pretty good attitude about me and who I am, it was just like, I don't know what to do. I'm lost. You
Yeah.
know, I felt like I was honestly where I was at in my life. I felt like I was somebody that has a drug addiction
Wow.
and needed severe help.
Yeah.
And but mine was about my health and weight loss, and I had nowhere to go.
Yeah, I love that.
And
And I feel like so many people feel that way, where it gets to a point where it's so painful. There's all these, there's a bunch of issues that kind of compound onto one individual, and people just feel like, you know what, like it's too hard. I can't do this. It hurts too bad. The road is too long. And I personally know people who have health issues like that, and they feel like it's too much. They feel like it's completely unmanageable. And to fix this, it's either going to be crazy expensive surgeries, or I can't do what it takes. So when was there like one moment where something just went off, flipped the switch, or was it more like a gradual thing? But talk to us about when you make the decision of enough is enough. I've got to do something different.
well, I think it was a gradual thing. You know, I've had some positive influences in my life, people around me that I've seen what they've done. You know, some people even who are in, I have a friend that's in great shape that did um, bodybuilding, and he went in a competition. He worked his butt off to do it. That motivated me.
Sure.
Um, I had another coworker. She lost a bunch of weight, and I was sitting there thinking, geez, I need to do that. I got to do something. But all those things build up. But what really got me started was my sister last January started the plan that I'm on, and she was sending me pictures of like the food she was eating, and I thought I can eat that, and
Love it.
she looked like she's eating a lot of good healthy food. That wouldn't be a problem. And what what it what got it going for me was I decided then she invited me to do the plan, and my mom also stepped in and said, I'll pay for a couple months of the program for
Nice.
you. And I thought, okay, what do I have to lose, right?
Exactly. What do I have to lose? Love it.
And then my wife um, did it for me, or joined with me.
Yeah.
Hold on, Alexa, stop. Sorry,
No,
my
you're
thing went
fine.
off. Anyway, but my wife was there, and she did it for a couple months to support me. So we were both doing the same thing. That's what really got me started. But what happened was within that first month, I started changing. I dropped 24 pounds. And I was
Wow.
like, okay, wait a minute. There's something to this. This isn't
I can
just
do this.
some little
Yeah.
sales gimmick thing that's out there there's this is a health plan. It's not a diet. It's a health plan that's going to change my life. And I started seeing transformations that other people were making in the program I was in. And some of them, like I know one guy that's in the last 2 years has dropped 356 pounds.
No.
And I look at that and I think,
Wow.
God, you know, I I can do that. I'm the type of person, Tony, honestly, that if I start seeing something, I'm kind of competitive.
Oh, me too.
And if I
100%.
start seeing if I start seeing results
I
and
want to
it's
get that too.
then I'm in it. I'm in, you
Love
know.
it.
And honestly, this plan that I got on was easy. Because it was all
That's key. I love
yeah,
that. I love that you said that it was easy, because the number one thing people tell me is it's so hard. And they have all these things that they say are motivators. They talk about their health, they talk about their kids, they talk about their family. But then when we get into it, they're like, it's so hard. So I love that you said that. So let's kind of dive into that a little more. I'm going to try to do transformation. And you have to have both. But I was really surprised, pleasantly surprised at your approach, because it seemed like it was just very different from some of the other folks that try to kill themselves in the gym. They try to starve themselves and they can't eat anything. So talk to us a little bit about, first off, the nutrition plan, what it was all about, and why now you say that it wasn't that hard.
yeah. Okay. Well, the plan I got on is called Optavia, and um, essentially it offers four components in the plan. Coaching was is important. I have a coach, and I speak to her weekly. Um, she motivates me, challenges me. Just it's my job to do this plan, but she's just there to help out. Um, there's an education component to it. We have a life book where you go through your mindset and start rewriting your life story and really diving into what it is, where you've been, and what it is to change. There's a healthy habits. They have webinars that help you, and then they have the you have a community. A lot of it's on Facebook, and reach out, ask questions. People are supportive. You tell them what you're doing. It's a family, it's a community you have there. But the food component, which you asked, um, is 5-in-1. Well, there's different plans they have depending on what a person needs. Um, but so essentially, I eat 6 times a day. 5 of those and I eat every 2 to 3 hours. 5 of those are provided by the Optavia, the company. Then one meal I have a day is on my own. I make a lean and green meal, is what we call it, and it's a 5 to 7 um, ounces of a healthy of protein plus three non-starchy vegetables, and that's my day. That's what I eat. I also make sure I'm hydrating myself with water, at least 64 ounces a day. I'm currently drinking a gallon
Nice,
of
me too.
water because I'm a bigger guy too, so I need more fluid,
Sure.
and but the hydration is important. But the reason why I think it's easy now, I want to say this because it's laid out for me. I know what I'm doing every day. I know I every 2 to 3 hours I'm grabbing what we call a fueling. I'm eating that, and then at dinner time I make a lean and green. And
So
my
talk to us
family,
about. I love that. Talk to us about these fuelings. I know that uh, it's specific to the program, but I think that people can learn. Maybe even if they jump on the program, great. But even if they don't, how they can kind of structure it. So talk to us about what these fuelings are. So I find it very interesting that you're eating 6 times a day, every two to
yes,
three hours. Most people believe that the less you eat, the better, right? I just have to avoid eating as much as I can in order to lose weight.
Yeah.
So talk to us about these fuelings and kind of what they are.
Well, they're basically um, a carb protein balance um, fuelings, and you know um, they essentially it's just to kind of work on your blood sugars. The great thing about it is with this plan for me, I didn't have to do any exercise to lose weight.
Yes, and I want to get into that. That
Yeah,
is amazing.
so we can get into that. But they're basically designed to get you into fat burn. It's a scientific proven, and I'm no doctor, so breaking that explanation
Are
down. But
they
that's
are they like protein shakes? Are they like
there's
little
yeah
snacks? Are they
yeah there's some snacks. They have all variety of things you can have during the day. I have bars that I can eat, like they have campfire s'mores, peanut butter, um,
yeah.
granola bar. I like in the afternoon to have chicken noodle soup and a rustic tomato, but they're very, you know, they're about 100 carbs or 100 calories, very low in carbs and stuff. And those are what I'm eating. And it's kind of nice because if I'm out, I'm not at home, I can grab some of them, take with me. There are shakes too. There's you can make little smoothies or whatever too. There's all kinds of different things you can make,
I love
and
that.
they just I'm just eating those. I set my timer on my watch. I do 2.5 hours. When it goes
There you
off, I
go.
get up and make my.
Yeah, see, I love that. Those are those little things, right? That are so smart. They're so smart because you have to have a plan. Just like you mentioned, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And so having some structure, I love the fact that okay, I'm gonna have my larger meal in the evening, and every 2.5 hours, I have my alarm. I'm eating my fuel, whether that's a shake, whether that's a soup, whatever it is, but you have that structure. And I feel like that's so hard for people to build, to actually have some structure. So I think that is absolutely key whenever we
Yeah,
talk about nutrition.
Tony, I think the thing that helps me is the plan is goof proof. You don't have to
What do you mean
be
by
you don't have to be intelligent. It's just
that?
because it's just laid out for you. You
Yeah,
know
it's
what you're going to eat
simple.
every day,
Right.
and you just grab it and go. But I'm also learning. I'm educating myself
Yeah.
to how to live healthy because I didn't really have that. I didn't know what to do, but um, but the goof proof thing, in my opinion, because I think if I try to structure a plan at home, I'm not disciplined enough when I started. I'd probably be like, okay, I'm going to eat this for breakfast. This is a healthy breakfast. I'd probably find myself snacking, but I don't do that. I have something, I put all my feelings in it, like those shoe bins I have hanged up in my pantry, and I just go grab
So
one when I
smart.
have it, and then they eat it, and I actually love doing it. Now, I said the program's easy. It is easy, but I get hungry at times. I get I'm tempted to eat
Well,
other things. When my kids love their potato chips and they're sitting out there, it's like, oh, I just maybe I
get
could
that away
eat
from me.
one. But yeah, that's what I do. Honestly, Tony, I just get it out of my
Leave.
sight. It's
Leave.
out of sight, out of mind, and then I don't think about it.
Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
love that. I love that. And so I think that there's so much there for those of you listening. Number one, have a plan. If you can't come up with a plan, find someone that can help you find a plan, and then just stick to it. And be prepared. I think that is the main thing. Be prepared. I love that you have your feelings just ready to go. You know where they're at. You have your phone time. Like you put yourself in the best position to succeed. And so I
yeah.
love that. Let's talk a little bit about the exercise part. because that's kind of the other half of the coin, right? The other side. People feel like they have to go to the gym, they have to lift these heavy weights, and they got to go every day, and they got to spend 2 hours in the gym at 5 in the morning, like all the fit people. And if they don't do that, then there's no point because they're not going to get anywhere. So you mentioned that you didn't do any gym work. You didn't go to a gym. So talk to us about that.
Well, I couldn't really exercise. Going to the gym would be pointless. I mean, when I have to, I'm 500 pounds. First of all, maybe people wouldn't care, but um, you know, I'm embarrassed. I don't want to walk into a gym like that. Plus, physically, I couldn't do it.
Sure.
I could not. There's no way I was going to do it. And with my back, I couldn't stand to shower. I had to use a shower chair. Um, that's where I was at.
Yeah.
And
So
so
going to a
how am I
gym
going
just
to
is no
exercise?
option.
Yeah, it wasn't an option for me. So, but the plan is designed that you can burn fat without exercising. However, one of the elements that they teach in the plan is healthy motion. My coach that I talk to weekly, she challenged me. She said, "I want you to start standing. This is one of the motions is to stand." So I started standing every day. And what I do is I get up, set my timer, and I tried to get to a full hour of standing during the day. Didn't matter how long I did it. Um, I just started there. And man, I'd get to a minute and I would be hurting. I could feel it. But I started working up. And I can tell you, just from doing that, the motion part and standing, I've gone from having to sit. I, I I'm kind of weird maybe, but I love cleaning the house. I love a clean house because I like seeing the end project.
Yeah.
And ever since I was a kid, I cleaning is me. It's therapeutic. But
Yeah, you are.
I had
That is a little bit strange.
yeah,
my wife,
but I
my
had to
my wife would love if I had that.
yeah, I had to sit down on a chair at the dishes to do the dishes. I couldn't sweep the
Can
floor.
stand.
From that standing and improving, I can clean the whole kitchen now.
Love it.
And now I'm I'm walking. I can move better, but I'm going I talked to my doctor because I have a goal of walking a 5K.
Yes, I have that in my notes. That is awesome. And
So I'm building on that, Tony. I'm
yeah,
walking. I got a walker from my doctor. I got a prescription and I walk as far as I can and it has a chair on it and I'll sit down. You know, it's a start for me. I've been able to build myself up to over a half a mile so far. That's from the guy 10
that
months
couldn't
ago
stand
who couldn't
for
park,
a minute.
yeah, or walk out to my
Incredible.
car without breathing heavily. You know what
Yes.
that does for my life?
Oh, completely
It's
changes it. Of
opened up.
course.
It's opened up a whole. I can't even express to you all the
Yeah.
things it's changed for me. You know, Eh, it's so much funner to get a vehicle and drive because guess what? It's not so tight. I feel good.
Yeah. It's those little
I took
things, right?
my family. We went to Colorado this year. I drove the whole way.
Love
I
it.
would have been in so much pain
Yeah.
before that I could not have handled it. Even sitting in the passenger seat, I'd have been hurting. But I made these changes,
That's
and
so great. That's so
made a
great. And
huge impact.
yeah, 100%. And I love the fact that you started wherever you could, right? You can't go to a gym. That's fine. I don't have to go to the gym. If I need to stand, I stood 1 minute today, I'm gonna stand 2 minutes tomorrow, and then 3 minutes next week. If I can walk from here to the corner, then I'm gonna walk from here to the corner. I'm just gonna do whatever I can. And so I think that is a tremendous message for our audience that, guys, it doesn't matter where you're at or what you have for example, a lot of people sometimes say, "Oh, I don't have a gym membership, so I can't exercise." Like that's just dumb. It just find ways within your home to do what you can with what you've got. So I love that, and I'm gonna make a commitment to you, Al, right here on the show. When you walk that 5K, I want to walk it with you. Deal?
I that's fine. I've actually got a few people that want to do it with me,
Let's
so
do
I'm
it.
thinking we're gonna put a group together and get everybody T-shirts or something,
I'm so
do
in.
it.
I am so in for that. And so, kind of the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about, Al, is uh, a lot of people they get started, especially right now. We're still in January, and so there's always these we call them, or the fitness industry calls them the New Year's resolutioners, right? People that
Yeah.
uh, make their New Year's resolution. They want to lose weight, but then they fall off because it's hard or for whatever thing. So talk to us a little bit about what has kept you in it. You mentioned personal development. What has kept you motivated, even on days where maybe you don't really feel like doing what you have to do?
Um, well, one of the things that I've learned with Optavia, one of the kind of things we ask people is, if failure wasn't an option, what would you do? And you think about that, that's empowering to think about how you would change your life.
Yeah.
But it's also, we create what we call our whys. Why do I want to do this? And, you know, I have my family. I've got um, my kids. I got an 18-year-old son who has ADHD, depression, anxiety. He needs me in his life. Um, I I have a daughter that has autism. She needs me. You know, I want to stick around for him. My life is headed towards an early death, and I wouldn't be there for my family. But not just that, I didn't have a quality of life. I couldn't do things with my family every day. If they went out and did an activity, I would just stay home. I didn't go. Now I participated with in-home stuff with them. I was involved with them. It wasn't like that, but physically it was just too painful. It's hard to explain to people unless you've been through it. But I just couldn't do it. And so every day, honestly, when I sit here and think about, would I give up or not do this, because it is long, it's grueling, it's a process. Sometimes I think, man, I've done so well so far, but I still might have 2 years of this left to get down to a healthy weight. That's grueling to think
Of
about.
course. Yeah, it's overwhelming.
But but my whys, okay. I honestly, I had three big ones. It was for my family, um, my job. I loved my job. I support people with disabilities. I'm a caseworker for them. Um, I go out and do visits. I help them in their lives to be able to function in society. And I still wanted to do that job. I didn't want to lose it. I didn't want to say, I can't work anymore. I loved to help people, and that's what I was doing. Third thing was my faith and religion. I um, I couldn't go to church anymore. It was too hard to sit in the foyer on some of those hard chairs. I'd come home in pain. My heart was there. I believed, but I couldn't do it. So every day on times that I feel like I don't want to, do I want to not do this anymore? I never really feel that way, but I want those things really help me, to think about what my whys are and what I'm working towards. The other thing is I I have a friend, the bodybuilding friend that I told you about, because he's helping me with my walking, and to do it. He's telling me what to do, and build up and do this. But he always tells me that I start telling him things, and I start like, but I got to do this. And he goes, Al, just do it. Don't think about it.
I love that.
And I think, I've started to implement in my life, because honestly, all the people that might be listening that we're talking about that need to start and don't know how to, we start thinking in our mind, right? Like, oh, I got to give up this. I got to do this. What about my family? We like to go out and eat. It's too hard to cook healthy. It's so easy to go out to pick up fast food when you get home. You start thinking about all the things in your mind. You start doing that, and guess what happens? You don't do it. You quit.
Yep.
And
Quit paralysis by analysis.
one thing, Tony, too, I think is important for me. Honestly, I've thought about like the program I'm on and the community and the education. I think back over the last 10, 11 months, I don't hear a lot of talk in their program about food, eating food. Everything is about mindset
That's so
and
interesting.
what's in between your mind. And the doctor that started this program, Dr. Wayne Anderson, he the books he put together is all directed towards mindset.
That's
When we
interesting.
have
Why do you think that is? I love that concept that there's not so much talk about the macros and how much protein and counting your calories and your carbs. It's more about mindset. Why do you think that is?
I think that's the reason why we are successful or not. You know, it's what we got to become healthy in our mind. If you looked at your life like you took a wheel, a balance wheel, you have all these things. All those things are going to impact your mental health, your physical health, your financial health. All those things are going to impact the center of who you are
Yeah.
and what's in your mind. We have to work on all those areas. It's not just it's not just about being eating healthy. It's about doing all those things and getting your, because that's one thing like I noticed in this book, it does teach about your how you interact with other people. Like when somebody does something to you that maybe pisses you off and you feel like reacting, how do you control that? And they educate us on that and how to do that. And I think it's so powerful because what you're basically doing is, well, they have us rewrite our life story and what we're trying to accomplish. I just think that we think too much about things and then we fail.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I agree 1000%. And I love that the philosophy of, it's not just about having abs or having a six pack or having muscles, like it's or about just being thin. It's about becoming a better individual. It's about becoming a better
yeah,
person, having a healthier mindset. Healthy mind equals healthy body. So I love that. That I buy into that 1000%. I feel like in many cases people go about this in a very shallow way of they're just chasing six packs so they can get likes on Facebook or on Instagram, and they're not seeing kind of everything else that it requires of, like you said, becoming a well-rounded individual.
yeah,
Having the mindset, having learning how to deal with anger, how to deal with depression. I mean, all those things. I think that for many people compound, and then that's one of the reasons why then it manifests in unhealthy habits, right? People are sad, so they eat. People are angry, so they do this or they do that. And so I love that. I think that is so key. And one of the other things that I wanted to ask you about was you mentioned in our prep call about your medication.
yeah.
I put a big star on that because to me that is incredible. So talk to us about the medication you were on, kind of the things that you were taking, and how that has changed to today.
Yeah. Well, um, the big concern was the diabetes. Um, I had uncontrolled blood sugars, If anybody knows what an A1C, that's kind of an average of your, when you get blood work done, it's an average of your, I think it's a 3-month period of time where they can take an average of your blood sugars and get a result. You should, if you're diabetic, you should fall in a category. Healthy control is under 7. Okay. I was above that. Um, that's not good because it's going to damage your organs. You know, I have some neuropathy in my feet and legs from it. Plus, I also have back problems. Um, so, something I'm living with because of choices I made. But yeah, being on the plan. So what's happened is I started in March, as we mentioned. In July, I went into my doctor. I started telling him what I was doing. I don't know if he really noticed that I had lost much weight. When you're big and you lose 60, 70 pounds, somebody may not notice as much, because they don't see you all the time or
Sure, of
whatever.
course.
But the blood work told him the story because they did my blood work. They called me the next day and said, "Holy cow, we haven't seen these type of changes in people's blood work. We only see it once or twice a year in people." My A1C went from above 7 down to 5.7, which is in a great
Healthy
healthy
range.
range. I had to get off of some of my insulin because otherwise I was going to have low blood sugars, which you
Yeah,
don't want to have.
it was counterproductive.
Yeah. And so, and you know what? That's a huge cost savings to me
Oh,
too,
of course.
because insulin is expensive. I was on
Expensive.
three different types. I was on a fast acting, slow acting, and then I took this other med that kind of helped um, make it where you weren't so insulin resistant. It kind of increased the effect of the insulin. And so I was on all that. In December, I went back and had my blood work done, and I was down to 5.2. And you know what? Honestly, Tony, this stuff, when I had those results, but more than the results, when I'm doing that well, I feel so much better.
Of course. You
Um,
just,
I'm
yes.
I basically reached a point where I'm almost off of all my diabetic medication,
Wow.
and and if I'll keep on going, I won't need it anymore eventually, you know, and that's I got it. I still have to eat healthy and take care of myself, but I can control it with diet and exercise, you know.
Yeah, I think that is so key, and just realizing that the body will fix itself if we just kind of help it just a little bit. If we just
Yeah,
change our habits a little bit, if we start to eat a little bit better, if we start to move around, the body knows what to do, and it'll fix itself. Like in your case, you're down to a normal level. Your A1Cs are where they're supposed to be. You're off these medications like that. That is just a testament that the body is smart, and it'll do what it has to do if we just do our part to put it in the best position to succeed.
yeah. You know what? And all those changes for me is empowering because I see the results. I see what I'm doing. Um, I kind of feel like because I'm working on my health and I'm actually doing something, doctors want to help me, you know.
That's
Um, I
interesting.
don't, yeah,
Let's dive into that a little bit more. I love that you said that.
yeah, I don't think doctors want to help people that are overweight and not trying.
Overweight and
What?
not trying. I
Yeah,
I love that.
and I was kind of mad, frustrated with people. I mean, I like my family doctor; he's a good guy, but it's frustrating. I kind of felt with my back doctors I tried to see they all they thought I want to do was get pain medication, which I wasn't
Oh,
there to
I
do.
see. I
But
see.
they, I just like, I don't know, it's not fun going in, seeing a doctor and being constantly told you need to lose weight, which you do, but
You're looking for
that's all
something
you're,
different, right? You're
but
looking for some
how?
help.
What am I gonna do? I don't know. And you know what? Doctors just prescribe meds.
Yeah,
That's all they do. And they have, we all know they have companies that come in and
sure.
try to push meds, and
Yeah.
that's fine. They what they do. But honestly, I started making changes, and but what it does for me is like this week I went to a neuropathy thing, and I'm starting to work on my back issues. I couldn't do that before. I weighed too much
Of
to be on their
course.
machine. Now I can get on, they can
You
work
can do
with
it.
me. So
And I
what I
and
mean by
and I also saw,
empowering is,
yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
like you said, what I mean by empowering is now I want to go and get healthy in other areas other than what my plan offers to me, because I believe I'm changing, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna, it doesn't embarrass me right now that I'm still need to lose weight when I go in and
Oh,
see
no,
somebody,
not at all.
because
Because you
I'm
know how far
working.
you've come.
Yes. And inside I'm healthy. I somebody may look, I might be healthier than somebody that's looks
It's
like
so
they're in shape.
true. That's so true. I know so many dudes that look good and they're on PEDs and their kidneys are failing, and I mean they have some serious problems. So 100%. And you said something key. You said that you're not embarrassed, that maybe to someone that doesn't know you, they might, he still has a long way to go, but that doesn't embarrass you. And I think that that is also key. And so I wanted to kind of get your take on, a lot of people struggle in fitness because they tend to compare themselves to other people. They get on social media, they start seeing all these different people. So I love the fact that you have a bodybuilder friend, because for a lot of people, they wouldn't be able to handle that because the comparison would make them feel so bad about themselves that it would just discourage them instead of encourage them. So is that something that you've faced, the comparing yourselves with others? And how do you think someone should go about avoiding that so that they can keep making progress?
Well, first of all, I think it's natural that we compare ourselves, right? Everybody does it, no matter who we are. You look at the greatest athletes in this world, you know, they compare themselves. When people say things negatively about them, they're offended. They're
Sure.
upset. They don't like hearing those things. So you know what? Are we really different than people that are successful? We're all the same, right? I think it's natural to feel that way. Um, but I don't know, I I'm 51. I think I've matured a little bit in life, understand a few things. I know my self-worth. Some of that's just growth and maturity. Um, it's a mindset too, things I've learned. My community that I'm in, they pump me up. They're supportive. Makes you feel kind of good. Um, your surroundings, I think, is important. Who do you have there that's supporting you? Um, I People have been really positive to me on Facebook. When I post something that I do, like the other day, I posted on Facebook that I no longer need my handicap
Yes, I was gonna
sticker.
bring that up. Talk to us about that. That is incredible. I love that.
Yeah, I like I said, I used to drive and I'd go to an appointment, and how close can I park? Luckily, I had that handicap sticker to pull, and I needed it. It wasn't just. But now I feel like it's better for me to park further away and walk,
It's that
and I can do
mentality,
it,
man. Yes.
and I can do it. But it's just it's empowering when people respond to you and say, "This is so awesome."
Yeah.
And people tell me all the time I'm an inspiration. Sometimes I think how am I so inspiring,
No, you
But
are, my
but
friend.
but and I just I think it's really tough. Some people have a harder time looking at themselves and comparing themselves and getting down. And I don't think people need to feel that way. Um, you know, we are all wonderful people, right? No matter who we are. Um, Everybody has great qualities. Sometimes, like me, I didn't, you know what? It's not fun when you go to church and some little kid tells you, Daddy, that guy is really fat. You know,
Yeah,
that
of
hits
course.
you,
It
and
hurts.
it hurts, and it brings your confidence down. But luckily, I didn't stay there and get stuck there the rest of my life. But I think it is a challenge for people, and hopefully I would just say to everybody, try not to think about the negative stuff. Try to work on positive things. Um, and go for it. Don't compare yourselves to others. Be who you are. That's probably the most important thing, because every one of us, we all have value. We all have something to offer that we may not even know about. We start making changes. We don't know. We might be able to offer people things that is incredible. Like I mentioned, I work with people with disabilities intellectually, where they're at. Man, I'll tell you what, when I go and visit them and they smile and they're happy for who they are, that just makes my day, you know? And I think it's the same thing for us. It's I hope I'm answering that question, because I don't know. There's It's tough for people. I know there's people out there
It
that
is.
really struggle with that.
It
Um,
is. It is. No, but I think that you hit the nail on the head. Just be yourself. Don't let negative comments bring you down. Just do the best that you can. Realize that you have value. Everybody is the same. I love the point that you said about like professional athletes. They're human beings too. And they go through their own struggles, and we're all humans here, and we all go through our ups and downs. But the key is to find a way out and to do those small and simple things like you have done to improve your own life and really take responsibility. I think that that is one of the the key things that I admire from you is you've taken responsibility. I mean, you've taken it upon yourself to change your situation and not wait for somebody else to do it for you, which I feel like is something that a lot of folks sometimes fall into. So, Al, this has been a tremendous episode. I've learned so much. I'm sure that the audience learned so much too. Follow Al, guys. I will put his Facebook page link in the show notes. But before we go, Al, I'd like to, just like every other guest, ask you for your top 3 tips for somebody who is overweight, who maybe has some health issues, and would like to start the process of healing themselves. What would be your top 3 tips?
well, I'd kind of like to share a little concept that I have on my heart
Of
right now.
course.
Um, I feel very strongly about this. One of the things, I'm actually coaching the program I'm on to other people. I'm helping them. So if anybody's interested, they can reach out to me.
Reach
I
out
am
to
more than
Al,
willing.
you guys. 100% reach out.
But one of the things I see is there's a lot of people out there that um, are in a situation where they're starting to realize I'm overweight. I'm starting to have health problems pop up, and then they don't do anything. And that's where I was, years ago. And I just let it go, and continued to do what I was doing. Well, all of a sudden, then you wake up one day and you're in a bad spot. And I would say to everybody, do something now. It's easier to do something about it now than it is to wait, where you start having some real health concerns. No matter where you're at in your life, if you're not doing anything to be healthy, you need to start now. We live in a world, as we know, with the pandemic of COVID, that it kills people who aren't healthy. And if there's ever a motivation to be healthy, that tells us right there. Most Americans are obese, and there's a serious epidemic problem of obesity.
So true.
And we need to look, it is what it is. We're there. But we need don't you're gonna wake up one day if you don't do something about it now, and you're gonna be in my situation. And some people might be thinking, oh, I won't get there. But it happened to me. One little setback of my back, just boom, the weight just went on like crazy. I can't tell you. I putting on weight like I was dropping it now, you know? And but so I would say for people, you have choices in anything. You can choose to continue, but you're going to pay for it later. Or you can pay for it now and then enjoy life later as you go on. And I think, in that concept, you can put that in anything that you're doing in life, your finances, your health, your relationships, your work. Put forth the effort and just do it. Um, I also like the concept of this is in your mind telling yourself to, I get to do something or I have to do something.
I love that.
I have to eat this today. I have to get my work done. I have to clean the house. Those kind of thoughts, are more like, I don't want to do this, but it's not my choice.
Yeah,
It's got to get done. But if you say, today I get to do my work, even though
changes
I may not want to, I get to do it, and I'm going to do it.
changes
I get
everything.
to stay healthy, and just seeing that's why that mind focus is so important. It's more than the food, it's getting your mind right. And to me, that's what's so key
I love that.
is in all this.
I love that, Al.
And when I growing up, I played when I played high school football. I grew up in a small town in Grantsville, Utah. We had a motto, same, and that was how long ago did I graduate? I graduated in '87, and so, but we had this motto on our football team: hard work pays off. That sticks in that town now. I use that actually my whole life.
It does.
When I did things, sometimes there was things I did not know what to do in life. But I knew if I worked hard, I'd get there.
Yeah.
And that I've kind of applied that whole concept throughout my whole life. Just work hard. You'll learn, you'll get there. And the other thing that I've liked to carry around with me is do what you can and can the rest. You
Do what you
know,
can the rest. I love that. That is awesome.
so those are the things I feel and believe in and try to follow.
That's so
So
great, Al. I think every single one of those is just absolutely tremendous. Guys, follow Al. I will put his Facebook profile in the show notes. Check him out. As he mentioned, he is a coach for his program. So if you need any help with mindset, meal plans, whatever it is, reach out. It obviously works. So reach out to Al. Al, thank you so much for taking some time to be on the show. Any last words before we sign off?
no, if there's, on my plan, yeah, I want to share my plan with people, what I'm on, because it really helped me. and I know it can help other people. I guarantee if people stuck to it, they would lose weight. I know they would. Um, and but the other thing is if people just need to ask questions or need some help. I'm the type of person I like to help people. Look, I realized where I was at, and it was hard. You know, if people would just want to friend me on Facebook and follow my story, you know, they can send me a Facebook request and just follow my story. And if they have questions, they can send me a PM.
Perfect.
And I'm there. I want to help people. That makes me stronger, Tony. If helping people and coaching, it is making me a stronger person because I am trying. I got to do good,
Yeah.
continue to do good because I want to help other people.
Yeah.
Because
I
there's
agree with that.
there's people out there that don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true, guys. So now you know, reach out to Al. His DMs are open. If you have a question, check it out. This has been episode 43 of the Ask Tony Show. Thank you so much, Al. I appreciate it. Until next time, my friend.